Hello, welcome to Studio Nicole. I am Nicole and I am so glad that you're here. I am back from the retreat, Pages Unbound. I would love to tell you all about it. It was very, very fun. And I have been like putting things away and trying to get my studio back into some semblance of order. Not that it was very orderly to start with, but that has been my goal for the last couple of days. And so today I'm sitting here and I just was like paralyzed. I don't even know what to do because my list is kind of endless. So I thought, I would make a list because that's how I make sense of the world. Is in list format. So I made a list of a few things that I need to do or want to be working on. And I have a couple of videos that I want to go through on here. Both of them have to do with like debriefing a little bit from Pages Unbound. I thought it would be fun to do a little scrap soup video and walk my online viewers through the project that we did, one of the projects that we did. I also have a bunch of ATCs that we swapped at the retreat, and I thought it would be fun to kind of go through those. So I do have those projects. I still have the business card project and the Orlando journal, which are still kind of hanging over my head just a little bit. They're things that I've been wanting to do for a while and I haven't gotten to them. I think it's because they're both going to be very big projects and I just haven't had like big energy lately. So that's why they're still kind of hanging out. And I absolutely need to do some paper sorting. I don't know if I want to record that or not. I kind of think like I would watch a video of somebody sorting paper. And I know there are people out there who would watch that, I guess, but I just don't know like the filming setup and because I'm gonna have to spread stuff out all over the place. I'm gonna have piles everywhere. I don't know. I don't know how I would film that. So I'm kind of like mentally crossing things off of this list, and I'm left with the 100-day project. Because I really want to do something artsy. I haven't done a lot of art lately. I have been doing just a lot of prep work and planning and sorting and organizing. And I didn't even really get to create much at the retreat. So I want to do some actual creating and get my hands dirty. So I pulled out the 100-day project, which technically the 100-day project ended a while ago. However, um I got to page 55 or day 55. That's as far as I got. So I still have at least half of the project to go. And it's okay that I'm running behind because nobody cares and there are no art police. So I don't have to worry about them coming to arrest me. But this has been sitting on my desk and I do enjoy working on it. Just, other things have taken priority. So I thought today I would pull it out, and I haven't even like a lot of times when I would sit down to do these 100-day projects, I would plan out in advance what I'm going to do. And today I didn't do that. So if you are anxious to get to the actual art making, you might have to just scroll ahead a little bit because I need to do some thinking. And I thought I would think out loud. Um, So I usually start with the background. So 100 days of art journaling techniques. This list of techniques is available up on my, is it Ko-fi? I don't know how to pronounce it. Um, but it's up on my shop, and I can put the link in the description if you want to get it. It is a free download. If you go and you want to download these art journaling techniques, it's available if you want to use them. And I am, very, I don't follow the rules. So sometimes I'll swap something out or I kind of interpret it in my own way. So I hope that you will feel free to do that as well. If you borrow these and are working through them, take them as suggestions, not as rules, and just kind of work with whatever you want. I like the idea of a stenciled pattern background. That feels like something easy and accessible that I could do. I do have all of my, oh my gosh, let me get a clip here. All right, I'm going to clip this open so that it will stop trying to close on me. Stenciled pattern background. I'm gonna get just a little notepad over here and do what I'm doing. Number 9, stenciled pattern. Right. Then the next one, I have to look at the numbers to figure out what's next. Next is mark making techniques. So a stenciled pattern background will tend to be a little busy already. So I want something that is not going to compete too much with that. I like the idea of pattern bands across the page. I feel like I did that. Oh, I did do that one. That one seems familiar to me. Oh, so this one, I didn't number the technique. So I guess I need to go back and do that. Pattern bands is number 25, and I need to cross it off. Okay, what was ombre blend? Number 16. Okay, I guess I skipped that step the last time I was working. So no pattern bands across the page because that one's done. So steel wool stencil pattern is a fun technique. Some of my in-person workshop participants recently worked with that pattern or with that technique, and I think it would work well since I'm already doing a stenciled pattern on the background. Maybe I could repeat the same stencil but use a different technique, and so let's try that. So number 38. Number 38, steel wool stencil. It's a fun technique, and you guys will get to see that. All right. So stencil background with some steel wool stenciling as well. The next one up is mixed media and layering. I like the idea of doing a fabric scrap collage because I have a lot of fabric scraps. Just looking at what the other options are, and I think I just want to do the fabric straps. We're just going to go with it. I'm not going to put too much thought into this. I'm just going to pick the first thing that makes me happy and go with it. Fabric scraps. Okay. Boom. Third choice. Now I have to think about text and captioning techniques. I like the idea of hidden journaling under a flap. Like, especially if I'm doing fabric, like fabric can be really interactive. Like you could lift it up maybe and kind of move it on the page. And so perhaps I can do hidden journaling under flaps. So we're just gonna go with number 62, hidden under flap. Okay. Flap is a weird word. I just said it like 3 times in a row and it started to sound funny to me. And a focal image. The collage really tends to be, like the image itself, but it's nice, or the focal point, but it's nice to have something within the collage that really kind of grabs your eye. I don't know. I'm looking at the list and I don't know if I love any of these. I don't know that I love any of these. Hmm. Let me check my alternatives. Mini accordion fold insert, triptych focal image, 3-panel composition, circular cutout portal frame, layered shadow effect using offset copies, abstract color burst radiating from center. I kind of like the enlarged cropped detail. I think this is the one that I'm going to do. So I'm going to do alt number 7. Alt number 7. Enlarged cropped detail. Okay. So that's going to be my focal image. So we've already wasted 10 minutes of video and I haven't even started making art. So I am going to pause this while I go gather all the supplies that I need, and then I'll be back in just a moment. Okay, I am back and I have gathered a handful of stencils and this gorgeous Daphne's Diary magazine and some ink and I couldn't find my like regular steel wool. So I'm going to use this one instead. It'll work. It may not work exactly the same way as the regular steel wool would, but it's what I have, so we're going to make it work. So yeah, so I've gathered some supplies and I think I want to go with this. Um, if anybody wants to tell me what this pattern is called, I think of it as like Moroccan tile or something, but I don't know if there's like an actual name for this shape. But I have a few different stencils, all in this pattern. This one is a little, it's like related. It's not exactly the same, but I thought that I could do some kind of a mix of these, the big and the small, in the same pattern. Um, and I grabbed pink because I'm just feeling kind of pink today. Um, which is pretty unusual for me, to be honest. But I'll tell you where the pink came from. This is my inspiration. In this, I'm gonna have to go open up the blind for my cat because she is gonna tear the whole set of blinds down trying to look out the window if I don't do something about it. Hold on one second. Okay. We have a cat door that goes out to the garage for her, but I need a set of blinds that has like a cat window in it that she can like operate on her own to look out the window. Anyway, so I was inspired by these flowers right here on the top of this page, and they are kind of a pinky burgundy with a little orange center, and I just want to use them. I was kind of like just flipping through the magazine and these caught my eye and I was like, okay, this is what I'm going to use. So I'm trying to make everything else work around these flowers. So I like this pink background because to do the steel wool stenciling technique, you have to you need kind of like a solid color on your magazine page. And so I think that this pink will work. Um, I don't know if I can save any of these words or not, but maybe, because I don't plan on covering this whole page. Um, I'm thinking maybe I'll just do like a strip over here and maybe a strip like down here. So I probably could tear this. And that way I've got these words if I ever want to cut them out and use them. What will tomorrow look like? Um, there's some other maybe I could even use it on this page. I kind of like that idea too. So what do I want to do? I want two triangles, sort of like this, and like this. It's kind of my plan. And then I'm going to stencil the steel wool on top of this. So here's how you do this with the steel wool. What you've got is you have a magazine page, and I'm actually not sure how this will work. The Daphne's Diary pages are not very glossy, so this technique may not work. I'm going to try it out. We're going to see. What you do is you lay the stencil, and I think I'm going to use. Do I want a big stencil? Let's try this one. Let's just try it and we'll see how it turns out. I don't know if this is going to show up on this little scrap of paper though. Like we're not going to get, it's not going to be very defined. So maybe I will try the small one. Okay, so you lay the stencil under the paper and then you scratch with the steel wool. Oh, I don't think this is going to work. And I don't know if it's the paper or if it's the I don't know if it's this kind of steel wool or if it's this kind of paper, but for some reason, the two of these things are really not working. So I might have to pivot and look for another magazine. Okay, so I found a real simple magazine that had a little bit of pink in it. It is surprisingly hard to find pink backgrounds in magazines. So this page has kind of a pink background. I'm not sure how it'll work, but we'll give it a try. There was this other page that's got some pink in it. So I can try that one if I need some more. And I grabbed this flower magazine because as I was flipping through it, I definitely caught some hints of pink, but I don't know that it's going to be the kind of background really that I want. But I did grab it because I thought maybe there would be something in here that might work. There's lots of really cool images in this magazine, I will tell you. For collage purposes, this is a good one. Um, I mean, I love all the pink in here. Mm, I'm gonna try with what I've got. This is more like focal point pink instead of background pink, I feel like. Yeah, I see some really cool stuff, but nothing that's quite what I. Okay, let's try it. Let's try it. Let's try it. Okay, we're gonna try this again. So I want some like triangle. Oh, not like that. I wanted some like triangular pieces, like this. It says best face moisturizer. We're gonna try and get a lot of that off of there. We'll see. And another one kind of goes this way. Ugh, I hate it when it doesn't tear the way I want it to. Okay, so it's the same sort of shape on the page. The color is not exactly, but it's pretty close. I could even maybe layer. That's kind of fun. What if I like layer it to create like a two-tone effect? The page is probably going to get kind of chunky if I do a whole lot of that, but I do like it. All right, let's first work on this stencil technique. Okay, let's make it work here. Oh, and it is the steel wool. It's really just not working well. Where is the rest of my steel wool? Today's not going well for me, guys. I gotta tell you. Okay, one more pause. Okay, I found it. I had a whole bunch of it. I knew I had some. I had recently bought it, and I stuck something else on top of it and faked myself out. So I'm losing. Like it's definitely working. I don't know if you guys can see that it's working. You might not be close enough to see the effect, but I'll show you in just a minute when I am done. Oh, I don't know. I don't love the words. And actually, the light color is actually making it even harder to see the result. Okay. So here is what happens. So I have rubbed that stencil pattern into the paper. It just takes off the ink. It's like a reverse crayon stenciling or rubbing, crayon rubbing. So it's a similar strategy. Um, It looks more apparent on a darker page. The fact that this pink is so pale, I think makes it not show up as well. This one definitely is showing up a little better. So there you can really kind of see how the pattern's coming through. It's not what I had envisioned exactly, but then most things don't work out quite the way I envision them. So be it. Oh well, it's fine. I really don't like Best Face Moisturizer, so that is going to have to go. We're going to have to cover that up with something. I like this sort of behind it to make a two-tone ombre kind of pattern. I like that. But I don't want to waste all of that paper. Okay, I'm not gluing down this one, but I am gluing down this. I'm just using this paper to try and figure out where I want it to be glued down. So I've got it in kind of the right area. I am finding this journal to be a little bit of a challenge today. Like it is just not cooperating. Like the whole journal itself is just not being cooperative. It's like it pops up and then it goes down. Like it's driving me a little bit crazy. It's this whole situation that down here that is making it happen. It's making me a little nuts. Maybe I'm feeling already a little distracted today. Okay. I don't want to put this on yet. Maybe I do want to put this on yet because I want to cover that up anyway. I was going to do the stenciling and then layer this on top of the stenciling, but I don't really want these words to be on the top layer. So maybe I will glue it down after all. I will glue it down and then stencil over. And maybe that will obscure the words just a little bit. I am using glue stick instead of matte medium because this paper is really lightweight already. And I just don't think I need the heaviness. Like matte medium works really well on thick papers and cardstock and heavy things. I think this will work fine. When I get to the fabric part of the collage, I'm going to need to do something different. But for now, I'm pretty satisfied with this. Okay, now I need the rest of my stencils. I'm going to do a big pattern. We'll try this pink and we'll see how it looks over top of what we've got going on over there. I think I might make sure that I thought I might have to get a clean brush, but this one seems like it's pretty clean. So this is Distress Oxide, which behaves a little differently than Distress Ink. But I like it. It's a little more, I don't know, it feels like it's more opaque. And I think that's what I need on this page. So I'm just going to go with it. And we'll see what it looks like. And if we need more layers, we'll just keep layering other stuff over top of it until we like it. I was doing a collage class last night and I said, if you don't like it, it's not done. Just keep adding to it until you like it, right? If you don't like it yet, then you're not done. Then you got to keep going. So that's what we're going to do. Oh, yeah. We are going to just keep adding until we like it, or until we get tired of trying and decide to walk away. That is also a valid choice. Okay. It's not exactly what I had in mind, but it's not terrible. It's not terrible. I think I want to somehow, yeah, I want this corner up here to have something filled in. Okay, so that's not completely blank. This is a little bit more obscure, so that's good. I don't know that you can see the background. We tried it. It's adding some depth. I don't know that it worked out really, really well. I wonder what would happen. I wonder what would happen if I outline these shapes a little bit. How do you think that would look? Wonder if the shape will kind of come through a little bit more, because I really like this shape, and I sort of want it to be, I don't really want it to be subtle. I kind of want it to be in your face. I want to be able to see this pattern. Of course, I might hate it. We'll find out, won't we? And I'm not being super precise because I am trying to do this quickly, because I am mindful that this is recording. The less editing I have to do later to speed things up, then the happier I am. So I'm trying to just do it quickly the first time. Okay, I actually do like that. I don't know if you can, I kind of have to lift it up a little bit, but you can see it makes those shapes just a little bit more visible on the page. I do like it. I like that. So right now we've got stenciled pattern, steel wool stencil. I am going to do fabric scraps and an enlarged cropped detail. So I'm kind of going to work backwards, because I want to pull out my enlarged detail. Um, and I don't know how enlarged this is, but I kind of thought this is like a mirror in this image, nothing on the other side. And I thought it would maybe make a nice frame for those flowers that I pointed out that I wanted to use. Okay, I'm just trying to get this off the page. So this is what I want to use, this like frame. I thought it would work nicely to sort of anchor the flowers, because the flowers are watercolor. They're very loose. They're very like wild, organic shapes. And I thought putting them in this frame might be an interesting sort of juxtaposition, where we have like two contrasting elements really playing off of each other. Um, but I want to have that sort of in mind when I make my fabric collage, so that I can figure out like how it's all going to fit together. Where is the top portion going to be, and what else are we collaging behind it? Right. So, do I kind of want, I think I want to sort of cut this. I don't want to cut into my desk mat, so I'm trying to be really gentle. Of course, I was too gentle and it didn't cut. I do have a cutting mat, but it's over here and there's all kinds of stuff on it. Of course there is. I'm just going to clear off like a little space. Come over here and cut this and cut like this. Okay. So I've cut just two sides like the right side and the bottom. And I am going to fussy cut these. I'm being very rough with my fussy cutting because I like a little bit of a white edge. So I'm not being too precise. Just going to cut these out. And I might not use all of them. I might have to trim them a little bit because I think they might be a little big for the space that I'm working with. But we're going to give it a shot and see. Okay, so I've cut my flowers out-ish, right? And I have my frame. And I want to sort of layer this in here. So they're like in the frame, but they're sort of coming out of the frame just a little bit. It actually looks like a face. Ooh, hold on. I cut the bottom part off. Do you see the face? Do you see it? Do you see it? Do you see it? I see it. Okay. All right. I'm gonna go with this. I'm gonna glue this together so that it stays the way I put it. Just a blob of glue. I can like glue the edges and stuff later, but right now at least it'll hold its position. So I kind of like that. That's going to be my focal image, okay? Now, this is a lot of pink, and it's a lot of sort of mid-tone, right? From my collage class last night, we know that we need some contrast. So this is not it because I'm going to get some fabric, but just see how that little bit of contrast makes that pop that much more. So that's what we want, which means I'm going to need either some like whites, or I'm going to need some really dark color fabric. Now that is one thing that I have not gone to gather. So now I've got to pause you again and go do that. I will be right back. Okay, for someone who doesn't sew, my fabric bin is pretty ridiculous. I realize you can't see this, but it's okay. This is a huge bin full of various kinds of, maybe I'll just take this little box out. Uh, so we can go through that. And I've got this little thing, and I've got this bag of scraps. And over here, if we look to the side, I have another plastic bin, and these are sorted by color. So, for example, I've got all kind of pink ribbons and things, red, orange, yellow, gold, green, blue. And I think I want to pull out the flats. So I'm going to put that down, move this over here. I'm going to have such a big cleanup after this today. So I've got this bin full of black. These are like fibers, but there's also some like ribbons and things in here. So I might use something here. I love this fabric, and I wonder if it works really, really nicely with this because it feels sort of Moroccan as well. Like, I don't know. I don't know. But it's also too busy and not dark enough, I don't think. So sparkles are always fun. I don't know. Um, these Joybird samples, you can order these online if you go. There's a bunch of fabric companies that that will send you like samples. Because if you're like redoing your house and you want to check the upholstery and see how it matches the curtains, like they will send you fabric and color samples, and then you can use them in your journal. It's a really great way to get a hold of some like cheap fabric samples. Just something to keep in mind. A lot of these are too red, I think. I don't have anything in this one that's black. These little scraps actually might work. So there's that. There's a darker black. This is like a Payne's gray, and then this is more like a black. What do we think we want? maybe the gray, maybe so it's not so starkly black. So that's a possibility. I wonder if I can tear this out without cutting it. No, I'm gonna have to cut it. Okay, well, got that one. I have these these are all too light. Although I could do a white instead of black. I think I like black. And then I have these. This one's got stripes on it. All of these. This color is perfect. This is like a super dark purple. That would also be, it's too much color. I think we need a black. I think we need some neutral. This is a scrap. Oh, I kind of like that scrap. It's got some interesting color on it. What else is happening in here? There's a white with some pink. Because we want to do a collage. Oh, and this is cool too. It's also a little bit of a contrast color. Okay, I'm going to try and work with these few scraps right there on my desk. I'm going to put everything else back in the bin. What's off here? And all of this back in here. Okay. Oh, this one. Fabric everywhere. Okay. So this is going to be my focal image somehow, but I don't know how exactly yet. So what I want to do is I want to layer these fabric scraps one on top of each other in a way that creates some interest and contrast. I like the colors on this, on these little roses. They just pull out a pop of pink, which pulls the background into the collage. I like the squares because the squares are a little, they just, this is so organic. These are all roundish shapes, lots of curves. And so now you've got some balance by adding some square shapes in. And this one's got these round shapes back in there again. Do I want that on top? No, I don't know what I want to do. Maybe I want this behind. I like it on top, but I'm trying to be mindful that I'm going to want this on here too. So this is going to need the darker color as a contrast so that it stands out. This white is too much against this white, so I don't think that is going to work. What if there's this and then the flowers behind? So they're just kind of peeking out. I did not do a good job when I cut that fabric because I cut with a lot of white space around the outside. And if I'm going to have it just peeking out, then I want the flowers to be on the outside. So that kind of works. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay, I didn't think I wanted it that long, but I like this. Do we like this? And then just the tiniest little hint of this bluey color. I just cut a little tiny strip of it, and I'm wondering if I just like layer it behind on one side, maybe. What do we think here? Let me bring you guys down so you can see a little closer. All right, tell me, what do we think about this? So I like all the squares. I like all the square lines with these organic shapes in the background. I like the black, or it's actually Payne's gray, so it's not quite as stark. I like that kind of framing it, like it really acts as a frame. Do I need to, I don't even want to cut it. Like I was thinking I might need to cut it and make it like a little bit more square, but I kind of like that it's a little wonky. Um, I could maybe bunch this up and turn it into more like a ruffle almost behind here. So it's a little ruffly edge. What if I put the ruffly edge at the front? I think that might be too much. Yeah, I actually like it on this side better. Kind of towards the, like our eye is drawn this way through these layers. And then if I do this right, maybe I'll grab my sewing machine and I'll try to do this on a sewing machine. If I do this right, I can peel the layers up and the words can be behind. Because remember, the words are supposed to be hidden behind a flap of fabric scrap. So maybe that's what I'll do. And this kind of like draws your eye. So I think I'm just going to grab a little bit of, oh, that's not glue. That is gold ink. Wrong one. Okay. I'm going to dab just a little bit of glue. I don't want to use a whole lot of glue because if I do run this through my sewing machine, I don't want it to gum up my machine. So just the tiniest little dab of glue to kind of hold that right there. And I think I want this edge to be kind of frayed. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna take this off. I'm changing my mind. I don't want that. I don't want that glued on here. I'm gonna sew all this. I'll be right back. Because I think I know how I want to do it. I am just hopping back on for 1 second because I feel the need to complain to someone about how stressful it is to pull this machine out and set it up in this tiny little space when I'm already working with like every inch on my desk. So yeah, I just needed to complain for a second, guys. All right, I'm gonna do a quick couple of stitches. I will show you the result in just a second. Okay, I am back. I got all my complaining out. I got my sewing machine out. I had to reset the bobbin, got it sewn, it's put away, and we are back in business. And here's what I have. I have this cute little fabric collage. I've got this piece stitch. I just did a straight stitch. I did not do a zigzag stitch because I wanted this to be very like tactile and dimensional. So I didn't want to stitch too much of it down. I wanted a straight stitch there. And I've got all these little tails of thread, which I might trim them a little bit. Um, they're very, very long, but maybe just like that. Okay. So I'm going to leave those. I also frayed this edge a little bit. It's kind of hard to see on camera, but I did fray this edge so it wasn't like such a flat edge. It's got some little threads kind of pulled out, making a little bit of a mess here on my page. And I probably should have stitched this down onto the page. Now that I'm thinking about it, that's absolutely what I should have done. Clearly, I didn't do that. And I don't want to drag my sewing machine back out again. So I'm going to just glue it. Right around where the stitch is, I'm going to put some glue down. And I might need to staple it. We'll see. What do we think? Do we think we need a staple under there too? I could do. Everyone at the retreat absolutely loved my little sideways stapler. It's pretty fancy. Um, So maybe I will slide this in here and staple behind this little flap just to hold it in place a little more there instead of sewing. That was so much easier than pulling out the sewing machine. So now I've got these flaps. I'm going to put my focal image right there. It's down so you can see a little better. I've got everything everywhere, and my desk is a wreck. Okay, so I'm going to glue this here, and then I'm going to put some words under the flap so that you have to lift the flap to see the words. And if you don't lift the flap, then you will never get the message. And I said I was going to be more precise and glue the edges down later, and I'm just going to do that like as I'm gluing it on. This will all glue down. And I am using this is tacky glue. It's a little heavier than like a glue stick because I'm gluing onto fabric. I don't trust a glue stick for this. Oh, I wanted it to go over this little edge a little bit. Right, because I wanted the ruffle peeking out the side. The downside of using a little bottle like this, which I really love over a big glue bottle, but you do have to store it upside down because otherwise it like takes 20 minutes to get any of the glue out. Arr. So I usually keep this in a little mug. I have a mug from Amsterdam from my trip last year, and I keep my fine liner bottles. I have a couple of little bottles of different kinds of glue, and my ink is empty, but is also in there. So I just keep that on my desk and I keep it upside down. When I remember, like if I'm working, of course, I will forget to turn it upside down and then complain about it. Okay, this thread can go. I've got some cute little flower motif. I've got some pink. I've got some contrast. I have this little pop of color that's opposite on the color wheel from my other colors. And now I'm going to flip this up. And I think I'm just going to use a line from this poem. Um, hmm. I don't know that I love the whole poem, but I tend to just pick like a single line and kind of leave it at that. I love a question. I like what will tomorrow look like? Just because none of us knows, right? We spend so much time wondering, don't we all? So I think I might use this. And in order for this to stand out, I really do need a little more contrast. So I have that I could use. I think I want something dark. I was thinking I could just cut like a strip of this light out, but I think I need something dark instead to call back to that dark. So I'm just kind of scrounging around on my desk to see if I have anything, and I don't. All right. Scrap bin. Some black scrap paper, that'll do. It's tissue paper, but it'll work. Do I want it? Trying to think, like, do I want it to peek out so we know that there's words? I don't. I really don't. Nope. I don't want to do that. I don't want to give anybody a clue. If you don't lift the flap, then you don't know what the words say. You don't even know that the words are there. Because isn't that like life? If we're not like a little bit curious and go poking around and checking stuff out, then we just walk past it and we don't even know that it's there. And so I think this is a good metaphor for life. I want to reward curiosity. I'm just gluing it along the edge so that I can cut it out from there. Boop. This is almost 50 minutes. You guys, I hope that you watch this on like 2 times speed because nobody has 50 minutes to waste watching an art video. Okay, and it is hidden. I don't I don't like having just a single line. I'm just weird. I don't know. Whatever. I like what will glue that back down? This fabric is going to make me insane. Like I keep trying to cram it into the little crease. There we go. Okay. And tomorrow needs to come off. Great. It's good. It's got good edges. And now I just need a new piece of tissue paper for tomorrow. And I set my glue down the wrong way up again. But hopefully there's enough. Just kind of stuck in the... Okay, upside down, Nicole. Upside down. That is extra. Doop. Boop. And then this again. Okay. I like this better rather than having like one continuous line for the words. I don't know why. I like to break my words up so that there's like more movement on the page. They feel more dynamic somehow to me. So that's what I'm doing. What will tomorrow look like? What will tomorrow look like? And you have to lift the flap to ask the question. I don't like this green on the other side of these flowers, so I'm going to glue those down so that they stick to the frame. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is my page. I have stenciled background. Let's write this out. This is like way farther than day 56. I mean, it's the 56th prompt, but I'm way past my time. Okay, so I will cut all that writing out, and here's what I've got. Day 56 through day 60, stenciled pattern background with steel wool stencil pattern, fabric scrap collage, hidden journaling under the flap, and I did an alternate for my focal image, alternate number 7, the enlarged cropped detail. Now, I gotta tell you, I'm not sure that this is an enlarged cropped. It is cropped because we just kind of focused in on that little bit of flowers, but it's not super enlarged. This is probably not an exact reading, interpretation of what this is, but it's good enough. It's close enough. I'm happy with it. When I wrote it, it does look like cropped detail. Like no matter how many times I tried to fix the A and make it look like an O, it just looks like an A to me. So I will probably read it that way for the rest of my life, but whatever. Here we are, folks. One more thing, just to mimic, what happened? Did I click something? No. Just to mimic these squares that are happening in the middle of the page. And I love a good edge. I might do like an edgy border just around, like a sketchy square around the outside. To kind of rein it all in, to give it a little fence. I think that just gives it like a little finishing touch. All right, folks, thanks so much for being here with me in this video. If you haven't seen my other 100-day videos, the playlist will be in the video description. You're welcome to go back through and watch all of these process videos. I generally will do 5 days or prompts at a time. To try and get through the list just a little bit more quickly, because it's not something that I do work on every single day, which I know is not really in the spirit of the 100-day project, but it's working for me. All right, folks, thanks so much for being here. See you in the next video.